Hello, everyone. Our topic for today is about the Navitt-Hartenberg representation. We start with 2 points in a one link. So these are the 2 points and a link L. In these 2 points from a link, we have the coordinates of the first point, which is the previous coordinate, or we call this one as the reference coordinate. Instead of using coordinates, we can also call this one as the frame. So this is the coordinate of one frame. And each of the axes can be rotated for the X, for the Y, and for the Z. And this is called the reference frame. On the second point of the link, as the other end point, another frame which represented by Xi, Yi, and Zi for the respective axes. And this point is, we call this one origin I. And this is also called as body attached frame for this coordinate. And for the reference frame, it is also known as the previous frame. For the body attached frame, it is also known as current frame, base frame, and for this frame is also known as adjacent frame. And for the frame which is previous or the reference, this is represented by I minus 1 frame. And this is the ith frame. I represent as the current frame. I minus 1 is represented as the previous frame. Now, for example, I minus 1, if this is the first frame, first point, and this is the second point, so if it is starting with 0, so I mean 1 as the first point, so your I will become 1 minus 1, that is 0. So this is our origin 0, and this is our origin 1. Okay. So for this coordinate, we have this coordinate x0, y0, and z0. And for this one will be our x1, y1, and z1. This for the one link representation. Now, defining the 4D its parameters, let us start with the example. One point is located in a certain point in a space, and another point located in a certain point in space. Joining them together is the link. Then bringing them as one link. This is one link. In this point, this is the assuming the direction of the frame with respect to X, Y, and the Z. So this is assumed to be the current position of this. We call this one as the adjacent frame. Now, the other point is our previous point. Assuming that this is the orientation or position of the frame with respect to origin I minus 1. So here is the xi minus 1. We have the yi minus 1 and the zi minus 1. Defining the 4 parameters, we need to project or extend a line that will meet this axis to this projected line. Then we extend the line from the z-axis. That will be perpendicular with the projected line with this line along the zi minus 1 axis. Now this line is the same direction with the xi. Then bringing up the line here to be parallel with this and also this one. Then bringing the line to connect as the intersection and perpendicular with each other. Then after establishing this diagram, we can be able to define each of the 4 parameters, starting with the DI. Finding the DI is looking at the Zi minus 1 axis. That is, we are moving the previous frame along the Zi minus 1 axis. And we move this frame until this point here, which is the same surface with the origin I. Our objective of defining the 4 parameters is to put the frame into this previous frame into the adjacent frame with the same orientation. So starting with the DI, so we move this frame straight up along the Zi minus 1 axis. And then this determines our DI. It is the distance from the origin of the previous frame along the Zi minus 1 to the origin with respect to the origin of the adjacent frame. So I repeat, this is the previous frame and this is the adjacent frame. So this is the DI. If this is DI, we also see this one as the DI. And from here to here is also our DI. This is how to determine the DI, the first parameter of the DH. Next to define is the AI or the RI. So to define the AI or RI is to look at the XI vector, the XI axis. So our XI is place it here to show the projected line that is intersecting to this point, and this is our XI direction. With respect to XI, we move this previous frame to the next position that is along XI. So we move this frame along XI. So the new position of this previous frame is here in this point that is moved along XI, and then we'll be able to determine the distance of the AI. So the AI is the distance from here to here, which is our AI. As you can see, if this is AI, this is also AI. And this is also our AI. Okay, so here we define or we able to determine the AI or RI. This is also known as RI because it forms a radius as this is the center and this is the one point around the circle, this one. Next is defining the angle. This time it is the angle. So our objective here is to rotate a certain axis to align the certain axis with respect to the adjacent. Now, we are going to find theta I. How to find the theta I? First, bringing the projected line along xi. So this is our xi. And also we project a line along the zi minus 1. And then this is our xi. And then we will project a line with respect to xi minus 1. Our objective here is to rotate that will approach xi minus 1 to xi. So to do that, we will rotate the zi minus 1 axis as defined as our theta I. So when we rotate this one in this manner, it's clockwise, this will approach our xi minus 1 to xi. So this is our theta I. And then after we do the rotation, the position or the orientation of the previous frame will be in this current position. So here is our yi minus 1 and here is our xi minus 1. So here is how are we going to determine the theta I. Next is finding the alpha I. So here is the current position of the previous frame. Our objective is to rotate the xi minus 1. So we project a line along xi minus 1. So that is our xi. And then with this axis, our objective is to rotate this one in clockwise. I mean counterclockwise when looking towards that direction in order to rotate to approach zi minus 1 to zi. So when we rotate the xi axis, we have the defined alpha I. So this is our alpha I. And then after we apply rotation, this is the result of rotation where your zi minus 1 is approaching the zi axis. So this is now the current position of the previous frame. So here we will be able to determine the alpha I. So here is the alpha I, this one. Finally, here is the summary of defining the 4 DH parameters. We have the DI, AI, the theta I, and the alpha I. So defining the 4 parameters of DH, therefore our theta I is the joint angle from xi minus 1 axis to the xi axis about the zi minus 1 axis using the right-handed rule. DI is defined as the distance from the origin of the I minus 1 coordinate frame to the intersection of the zi minus 1 axis with the xi axis along the zi minus 1 axis. AI is the offset distance from the intersection of the zi minus 1 axis with the xi axis to the origin of the ith frame along the xi axis, or the shortest distance between the zi minus 1 and zi axis. Alpha I, it is the opposite angle from the zi minus 1 axis to the zi axis about the xi axis using the right hand rule. So going back to the diagram, we can easily define or understand or locate the DI. It is the distance between the two origins along the ZI minus 1, that is the DI. While the AI is the distance between the two origins, along the XI axis. While the theta I is the angle between xi minus 1 axis and xi, that is our theta I. While the alpha I is the angle where the zi minus 1 axis approaching the zi axis. This is the zi axis. Next, to determine the composite adjacent homogeneous transformation, we have the define it as A. Adjacent means adjacent homogeneous transformation, A to I with respect to I minus 1. So this is the current and this is the previous, is equal to the transformation, the homogeneous transformation of Zi minus 1, comma Di. That product with the next is the homogeneous transformation of Xi, comma Ai, and that product with the homogeneous transformation of Zi minus 1, comma theta I, and the dot product of homogeneous transformation of xi, comma alpha I. So this is the first homogeneous transformation along Zi minus 1 axis where the Di is defined. And this is the homogeneous transformation along xi where the distance is defined, and the angle with respect to Zi minus 1 axis where the angle is defined between Zi minus 1 and Zi. For the lastly, it's the angle about the xi axis where the xi minus 1 is approaching the xi axis for the angle alpha I. So bringing the matrices, so this is for the ZDI. Since there's no rotation takes place here, so no rotation, so it's prismatic because we have only varying the DI at ZI minus 1 axis. And here is for the XI, the matrix of that, no rotation at all. And the prismatic is along with the XI axis where the distance is EI. And since there's a rotation, so we have an angle that is about Zi minus 1 axis. So this is the rotation of Zi minus 1 axis, and no prismatic because this is rotation only. And here, rotation about XI axis. So we have this rotation and no prismatic. So this is the equation for the composite adjacent homogeneous transformation. For the degrees of freedom equals to 6 or 6 degrees of freedom, you have A6 to 0, which is equal to 6 numbers of adjacent homogeneous transformation, starting with A1 to 0, A2 to 1, A3 to 2, A4 to 3, A5 to 4, and A6 to 5. Therefore, bringing all the matrices, there will be in each adjacent homogeneous transformation, there will be 4 homogeneous transformations. So this is 4 times 6. There will be 24 matrices that will be evaluated to get the A6 to 0 homogeneous transformation. Finding the point Pi. To determine the point Pi, using the AI I-1 matrix, one can relate a point Pi at rest and link I and express in homogeneous coordinates with respect to coordinate system I to the coordinate system I-1 established at link I-1 by. This is with respect to the previous frame or reference frame. Pi-1 is equal to AI I-1 times Pi, where Pi-1 is Xi-1, Yi-1, and Zi-1 coordinates, while the Pi is Xi, Yi, and Zi, comma 1 coordinates for the Pi. Here is the composite, the summary of the composite homogeneous transformation matrix involving prismatic joint only. So here is the formula. As you can see, you will find the Z theta, Z D. So this is theta I, di, x alpha. So for prismatic only, this is the results of evaluation involving prismatic joint only. And here is the inverse. So to determine the inverse, this is the result of evaluating the inverse. And take note that for prismatic joint, alpha I, AI, and theta I are constants in this case. Here is the composite homogeneous transformation matrix involving revolute. So here is the equation where I minus AI I-1 is known as the DH transformation matrix for adjacent coordinate frames I and II-1. Here are the 4 homogeneous transformation matrices, and evaluating all of that involving revolute. And here is the result after simplifying this one. And here is the inverse, the result of the inverse. And take note that for the revolute joint, alpha I, AI, and DI are constants, and the TTI is the joint variable. This is the end of the lecture. And thank you.